I recently visited the library, and a book that really caught my eye was a one-shot by Tatsuki Fujimoto called Goodbye Eri. For whatever reason, the cover just really drew me in with how ominous it was, how even though the girl in the cover was smiling, just how neutral and dead her expression seemed. The cover depicts Eri as her face is being blocked out by that of a picture. If you have read the one shot, this should probably mean something to you, but at the point that I was at the library, I didn't really know what was going on, so I wanted to find out. Just to be safe, for those of you who have not read the one shot, here's a quick rundown of the story in order to try and maybe entice you to read the one shot yourself, because it's a story that you must read for yourself. I firmly believe that you would not get the same impact from the story and the final page if you consume the story in any other way. Goodbye Eri is a story that never takes itself too seriously. It blurs the line between reality and fiction multiple times, and it tackles very difficult topics such as saying goodbye to loved ones and suicide, which are very serious topics which some people may not feel comfortable with. So I understand if you want to sit this one out. That being said, this is my interpretation of the story and what it means. Ultimately, I believe that the story is a very complex and convoluted way of telling readers that they should be themselves. They should express their creative voices and not be afraid of the backlash that they may get. This is my interpretation because at the start of the film or the story, Yuta creates a film and documentary for his mother. Even though she forces him to make the film for her, he still puts in his own personal flair in the story, with the exploding hospital towards the end. Upon expressing himself through his first film, Yuta is met with criticism and mockery. Now, no matter how justified the criticism may be, it hurts nonetheless, because if you have ever put time and effort into something, made work that you poured your heart into, it's kind of hard to separate yourself from that work because you just pour so much of yourself into the work itself. And because of this, Yuta is hurt to the point that he considers suicide and even almost goes through with it. The first film was Yuta expressing himself, which people did not like. Hence, Yuta wants to work on a second film via the help of Eri in order to make one that everyone enjoys. In the completion of the second film, Yuta ultimately succeeds in being accepted by the audience as they seem to receive the film positively. However, Yuta ultimately still feels unsatisfied, which is why even after he is an adult and has his own family with a wife and daughter, he still works on the film relentlessly, making adjustments and even editing it. It isn't until a tragic accident befalls his family, leaving Yuta as the only survivor, that he understands what has been missing from the film, why he has been editing it and adjusting it for so many years, even though most people have already received the film that he made positively. It was because his film was missing a pinch of fantasy. Not something that has been haphazardly put in there, like someone being a vampire for no reason, but a pinch of fantasy in his own style, in a way that his younger self would have done prior to having his creativity and his voice stifled by the fear of backlash that he may receive from disgruntled viewers. Hence, I love the last panel because, for me, it represents Yuta finally discovering who he really is and embracing it to the world. Now, with a story as complex and convoluted as Goodbye Eri, there's bound to be a lot of interpretations. This is just my interpretation, and I would love to see people disagree with me or even share their own views on what happened in the story, because what I want to do on my channel is create a place for healthy discussion, and I would love to see what you guys thought about the story, because there is just so much interpretations that you could have. For example, we understand or find out from Eri's friend that she used to wear retainers and glasses. We find out that Eri wanted to film all of the recordings without glasses or retainers because she thought it made her look worse. Hence, scene with Yuta almost jumping off of the hospital building with Eri stopping him is heavily implied to have been filmed. Although it's not said that it didn't happen like that in real life, it kind of blurs the line between reality and fiction with just what is going on. Did this really happen? And if it did, how much of the film was altered to make it more acceptable for the audience, or how much of it was actually true to reality? With that being said, I've long overstayed my welcome. I would love to see what you guys thought about the story, and thank you for watching all the way through.